Alright, so welcome everybody. So I think today we're going to take a look at this set of impact bits from Wera. Now I've had this for probably, I'd say close to 2 years, maybe even longer than that. Just kind of got put in the bottom of the to do or to review drawer and never got to it. But I think I got a job where I'm going to need these, so figured I'd take these out and give these a try. So this is a set of 29 impact bits in a impact bit holder. So it's got your standard sizes, your Torx, your posi drive Phillips, and hex. So first thing off, I'm a bit confused about the impact statement. I mean, this says impact proof, and then you get ones like this that say by torsion right here. So I thought by torsion bits were really just for impact tools, because they kind of give a little bit when you're using the impact function, but it doesn't say impact safe anywhere on here. Same thing with these hex ones that I got. Nowhere does it say it's safe to use impact, or nowhere does it say do not use an impact. So I even went back to the catalog here. So this is the page with all those impactor bits on them, and they do have that logo, the impact safe logo, but you don't see that anywhere else in any of the other bit sets. So I'm guessing that these black ones are the only ones that are really considered impact safe. So the other thing you see on here, it says it's diamond. So apparently these are all supposed to have some sort of like diamond dust or diamond coating on them. You can see right here is a short little excerpt about the diamond coating. It says it lowers the danger of slipping as the minute diamond particles literally bite themselves into the screw head. So let's take a quick look at this. And the first thing I see is that this bright orange color doesn't match the catalog. I guess it does match the picture here on the front. So I actually like that orange. It really makes it stand out. So you can see it's impact plus 9 impact bits for heavy duty use, ring magnet diamond against cam out. And then with these Wera holders, they have a little switch you push up on the logo, and that releases a latch. So it looks like they come with a holder here, but it's hard to get out. Hopefully that gets easier over time. So at least this thing has a good shelf life, because like I said, I bought this a long time ago. Just never really got around to it. So the hex ones do have the hex plus profile on them. So it looks like they give you, and they also give you 3 TX20s and 3 TX25s. I guess those are commonly used. That's actually what I have this in mind. I got something with a lot of Torx stuff in it. And they're all kind of Loctited down. Alright, so don't see any issues here. Bits are kind of hard to get out. I'm guessing that'll be easier over time. These are just your standard 25mm long bits. So I think what that ring magnet is for, it's to hold kind of longer screws in place. So basically, if you pull this out, you have basically just the very, very tip of the bit's going to be sticking out there. And then you can place your bit like that. And then you can just drive it right in without even touching it. And then if you don't need it, you can just pull it back, it locks in there. And it's used like a regular impact. So I suppose there's a trade-off, I guess, between the size of this and putting that ring magnet in. But it's not too bad of an idea. So they do have it for a couple other models, but it looks like it's not a standard feature. Looking through the catalog, they only have it for a couple of different sets, like intended, I guess, for woodworking and stuff. So that's all that holds that in there, is just a magnet. But it's kind of interesting, the ring magnet, it kind of pushes against you a little bit when you're pushing that in. It kind of, you can feel the resistance of that. So it's actually trying to pull the bit out right now, but I guess the magnet down here is a little bit stronger. So sometimes it's just the little things make the difference. Check in here. You can see there's a nice little taper there right before the hex. I was trying to figure out why that was so easy to put in, but it's kind of guiding the bit in. So it looks like that piece is actually between the magnet and the actual drive. You click here, they see you got the magnet, and then there's like a little that taper piece in there, and then the actual hex holder after that. It's kind of sandwiched in between there. So in terms of any kind of diamond coating on here, I mean, if there is, it's very, very tiny. Because it doesn't even look like there's a coating on here. It just looks like it's just been heat treated. So I think they kind of made this way too hard to get this holder in and out. All right, so let's go ahead and find something to use these on. See how they work. I guess the thing with impact bits is it's really you judge them on how long they last, and really to do that you probably got to put them through hundreds of hours of use. But we'll give this holder a test too, see if how that works. So here's an example. I think all of these are actually stainless screws, so this collar is really not going to be of much use here. So we'll just use it without it on. So since these are stainless, I bet you I can probably, if I tighten these, I bet you I can probably twist the head right off. So let's see how the bits do in that situation. So I guess that could be a quick way to remove the screws if you don't really care about getting the threads out. It's actually probably quicker than removing them. I was going to show myself using these, but I think, you know, that kind of stuff is kind of boring. But I would basically use the most of the torque sizes. So I used the T10 through T25, and I used the Phillips number 2. So like I mentioned before, there are some differences between the set I have here and the current version. So the main differences are the sleeves here now have the Wera Take It Easy color coding system. And so they put basically different color codes on the sleeves for different types of bits and the actual size of it on the sleeve, which is quite useful. So my first comment is I wish they would have stayed with this orange, because I was using this in a really dark attic. And when I was going to clean up the tools, it definitely was easy to find this, even in there. So if you got gloves on, I don't think it's really possible to pull this bit out of here. I mean, it's, even after using it for a little bit, it's still way too tough to pull out, I think. So hopefully they corrected that. I'm sure it'll get easier over time because it is just plastic in there. So another thing I found kind of annoying, there's no stop on this when you want to use the kind of the magnetic feature. You have to pull this out, but there's nothing here to stop it. So if you're doing any kind of overhead work, like I was working on the attic up there, every time I went to go put in a screw and I was trying to use this, it would fall back down. Especially the smaller screws. I guess the larger ones, there's kind of enough resistance on the magnet and the bit pushing on it. But the smaller ones, it was constantly going down. So that could be a possible improvement for this. So another thing I noticed, there's like a little bit of a lip here, and if you have any kind of metal shavings, they seem to be accumulating up in here because of this magnet that's in here. So if you're working around any kind of fine metal, what I think this is actually rust from old nails, because I was replacing some rotten pieces of wood up there on the roof, and I had to pull out a lot of nails that were rusted. They're basically disintegrating. So I think that's what that is, getting caught up in there. As you can see, it is sticking to the magnet. So if they could have found a way to get rid of that lip so you can basically just wipe it off this way, that would have been nice. Even through the limited testing that I've done, I found that these type of bits, these impactor bits, are really durable. So I guess that diamond finish, does actually mean something. And I'll tell you, I was up there, I had to switch between these two bits constantly, depending on the type of screw that I was putting in. And on one occasion, I tried using a Phillips bit on a torque screw, and I didn't even notice it at the time. And if you look in here, you really can't see much of any damage from that happening. If that was a cheap bit, that would have just basically tore this bit up. But that's really all that wear is, probably just from that one incident. So this is one of the holding function bits that I've done a comparison on before. And I'm pretty sure I was using this one more than I use this. And you can see the finish seems to be more worn on the holding function one than it is on this one, this impact one. So we may do a follow-up with this in the future. The problem really with impact bits, they either work or they don't, and then once they work, it's a matter of how long they last. And I was thinking about maybe throwing a bunch of different brands into maybe like a vibratory polisher with some walnut shells or something that's not very abrasive for a couple of days, and that should tell us which of the bits has the hardest finish. But I don't know if that's really the best way to test these. Alright guys, well I think that's going to about wrap it up for this one. I guess if anybody else has any experience with this particular series, they should leave a comment down below, give you your opinions on it. But so far it's been pretty positive. There's just a couple of things I don't like about the holder mostly. But the bits themselves, they've been performing quite well with the limited use that I've had with them. So, and that's probably why these are at a more premium price than a lot of their other bit sets. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap it up for this one. I'll catch you guys next time.